Welcome to the Profitable Nomad Couple Podcast. We're a show about growing your online business and enjoying a location-independent lifestyle, all while strengthening your relationship with your partner.
We are Austin and Monica, a husband and wife duo who run our business remotely so that we can travel the world in constant search for adventure, good food, and new friends.
We are here to share practical tips and tricks to help and encourage you wherever you may be on your digital nomad journey.
All right, let's dive in.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy almost New Year's and happy late Merry Christmas. By the time this episode comes out, Monica and I will actually be on our way home from our Mexican cruise. This is going to be the first cruise we've ever been on. So we're really looking forward to that. We are coming home from that as you are listening to this in your ears. And we are getting ready for the new year. So in preparation for this new year coming our way, we wanted to talk about how to take control of our lives. I know this is a time when we're all making New Year's resolutions. We're all setting goals. We have a lot of motivation and gusto to make big changes in our lives. And often that revolves around our careers. It revolves around reaching goals, often around travel that we want to do. We want to, I guess, bottle up some of this enthusiasm, some of this energy, and hold on to it for this new year. And we're going to talk about how we can be the author of our own story, because ultimately our life is in our own hands. Sometimes it feels like it's not. Sometimes it feels like what happens in our lives is subject to what other people choose for us. I know a lot of you listening right now don't like that feeling. You want to be in control, but maybe you don't know how, or this is something you've had this feeling inside of you that you want to take control of your life more and be the author of your own story, write yourself as a protagonist and go do amazing things with your life. So we're going to talk about how to make all that happen.
Yeah, I know a really common theme that I have heard is just a lot of people are afraid. There's so many unknowns in life and so many factors beyond our control that really, really affect our lives. And it totally, I sit back and I think about that, and it totally makes sense that people are scared. I mean, just in the last couple of years, we had a global pandemic, we've had supply chain problems, we've had crazy politics and media issues that are trying to divide us. There have been recessions and mass layoffs and crazy inflation, and gas prices were crazy expensive for a little bit. And there's a housing crisis, and people aren't able to afford their homes anymore. And it makes sense that people are afraid. It's heartbreaking to me that there are so many people living in fear. And it makes sense. The media is really trying to capitalize on that fear and really trying to scare us. And the reason for that is because fear equals control. When we're afraid, we're giving up our control to somebody else. And this could be control of our jobs, our lifestyle, our thoughts, our choices. When we're afraid, we make terrible decisions. And oftentimes we get so scared that we're paralyzed and we don't make any decisions. And we just let somebody else continue to control our lives. We let somebody else continue to make the decision about how much money we make or what we're doing in our day or where we're investing, because we're scared of making that decision for ourselves. So we give it up to somebody else. If we're not consciously making these decisions in our lives, somebody else is.
I can tell you firsthand, you guys, making decisions out of fear or letting fear control you, it sucks. Probably the most glaring example of this in my own life was when Monica and I had plans to go to the Peace Corps, and that fell through. We were supposed to leave April 20th. They canceled it on us like April 5th. We had like 2 weeks before we left. That was the next 2 years of our life plans gone all of a sudden. I'll admit, I was terrified. I was scared of what was coming in our future because I didn't know what was coming. There's a lot of uncertainty for me. I mean, first we were waiting for the Peace Corps to get back to us. It took a while, so we ended up getting jobs in senior care. I worked as a waiter at a restaurant. And for the first while, we were just waiting. It eventually became clear that it wasn't really going to be in the cards for us anymore to go to the Peace Corps, but we didn't have an alternative plan. And I was scared. I was living out of fear, and I didn't know what our future held for us. I didn't know what our jobs were going to be, because I knew what we were doing wasn't what we wanted to do long term, but I had no alternative. I had no idea what we were going to do, where we were going to live, literally nothing. I had no idea of what was coming down the pipeline for us. And so my reaction was to freeze. And so I just stayed where I was. I continued working at the job without really considering alternative options, because considering alternative options meant opening up myself to the possibility that those new plans also fall through. And I didn't want to do that again. And so I waited. And so I was frozen. I felt stuck, but I had no solution. Monica picked herself up out of that a lot faster than I did. And she started talking to me about working as a virtual assistant, working online, and the benefits of that. And for a while, I didn't quite get it. I eventually caught on to her vision, but I guess I just want to share with you that I know what it feels like to be living out of fear, to feel stuck, to feel like you're so uncertain about the future that you don't know what to do or where to go. It causes you to put off decisions. It causes you to feel like you have a loss of options, that there's nothing better out there for you. But having been through that ourselves, we want to tell you guys that there is a way out of that, and we're here to tell you what that is.
Yeah, looking back at that time in our life is so surreal because I see ourselves just paralyzed with that fear like you were talking about. We stayed in that situation way longer than we probably should have, to the point where it really affected our mental and emotional health as well as our relationship. And we were having a really, really hard time. And I can't even think about those times without getting emotional, because it was such a heart-wrenching time that was full of fear. Everywhere we turned, there was news of COVID, there was news of supply chain issues, there was news of the politics and the election from hell. There was so much bad news, and it was awful. And I am so thankful that we were able to find our way out. And now, looking forward to this new year, we are super excited to share with you how you can also pull yourself out, how you can stop being subject to the turning tides and to the fear that the media is spreading.
Especially in these times of economic winters and uncertainty, there's a lot of talk about job security. And I mean, even outside of those times, we talk about this idea of job security. You want like a stable career, a stable employment where you know that your job is secure, meaning you know that you're not going to be cut or laid off. You're not going to lose your job. I 100% understand why we look for that, why that's such an enticing thing for us. Having job security gives us this feeling of safety, of stability, security. It gives us peace of mind knowing that we have a stable paycheck coming in, so we don't have to worry about our finances, which in turn, if we're not worrying so much about our finances, sometimes that helps us put more of ourselves into our work. I actually found a survey earlier. It was a US survey that found that 85% of employees value job security as much as, or sometimes more than, a pay raise. It was really surprising to me to find out that 85% of Americans value job security that much. I mean, obviously I knew it was important, but I know a lot of people love getting pay raises and talk about working for a pay raise, but they value job security as much as or more than a pay raise, which just really paints the picture of how important this is for us. The problem is this job security, if you are in a traditional job or you're employed by somebody, your job security is still in the hands of somebody else. Your manager, your supervisor, your employer, whoever it is, the fate of your employment is really still in their hands. Companies go under all the time, or they change management. There's countless unforeseen economic circumstances that can change your employment status 100% outside of your control, and a lot of times outside of the control of your supervisor. Sometimes it's things outside of anyone's control, and it just happens. Doesn't matter how good you are, how proficient you are, how many abilities you have, you can be laid off realistically at any moment and for any reason. In addition to this false sense of job security, you are also, you're paying a price of a loss of freedom, a loss of empowerment in your own life and in yourself, and a loss of control quite often.
I truly believe that as humans, we all have this innate desire to be in control and to create something bigger than us. And I'm not saying this is true for everyone, but I believe that a lot of people are stuck in jobs that they don't necessarily like under this false sense of job security because it feels safer to them. And when you're not living to your full potential and you're not creating something besides yourself, you kind of start to lose yourself a little bit. And a lot of people tend to get lost in this rat race of trying to climb the ladder and trying to get raises and trying to get more PTO and trying to play nice and follow all the rules in business so that they can continue with this supposed job security.
Yeah, and we're telling this to you guys from a point of having been there personally. This is our story. We lived this. We lived in a place where, after our plans with the Peace Corps fell through and we got new jobs, we were making good money. We knew exactly how much money was coming in every month. It was plenty to cover our needs and wants, and then some. We were comfortable financially. But yeah, I mean, it did take a toll on us because like I said, we felt stuck. We felt like, I don't know, I think Monica, I think you said it in a good way that at least for me, I kind of feel like I started to lose myself, and I kind of become, in some sense of a way, or in some sense of the word, kind of a shell where I lost a lot of gusto for life, a lot of enthusiasm for life. There was a lot of living life day to day, not really loving what was happening, even though I had this job that paid us well.
I kind of think of it as like a ship on an ocean, right? And when you're on the ship, you can be a passenger and be totally subject to, the storms and the waves crashing, and you could just get knocked around and get beaten down. And you could just accept that I'm just this boat on the ocean and there's nothing I can do about it. Or you can stand up and you can take control, right? And so that's what we want to talk to you about today, is how you can stand up and take control in 2023, how you can stop letting these scary factors outside of your control. You can stop letting the media control you. You can stop chasing this false sense of job security, and how you can really be the captain of your boat, and how you can create the life of your dreams, how you can be the author of your story.
Yeah, man, that's so good. And we don't want you guys to feel all doom and gloom. We don't want to be contributors to this idea of like, oh, everything's terrible outside in the world, because it's really, really not. But I know a lot of you are already feeling this way. And so what is the alternative? What's the way out of this? And for us, the alternative was entrepreneurship, starting our own business. And we want to get into why a little bit and share why. We know there are a lot of risks when it comes to self-employment and entrepreneurship. And we don't want to lure you into this idea that entrepreneurship is the solution to everything and it's risk-free and everything's going to be all fine and dandy, because there is risk that comes with starting your own business. But when you start this journey of starting your own business and self-employment, you relieve yourself of the threat of being laid off. You relieve yourself of this threat of false job security, because your success lies directly 100% in your own hands. How much money you make, how successful you are, all depends on what you put into it, the hours and the energy that you put into your business.
So instead of being stuck in this rat race, chasing the raise, chasing the praise of your boss, you can exchange all of that in for never feeling stuck anymore, not having income caps or letting somebody else determine how much money you can make in a year, not having to climb that ladder endlessly, which may or may not be paying off for you, and no longer missing important dates. How many times have we missed weddings or birthdays or soccer games, or even just being there for a friend when they need it because we're stuck at work? Or how many times have we been wanting to travel and daydreaming about traveling and scrolling all these beautiful Instagram travel pictures while we're stuck trying to collect PTO? You don't have to daydream of this life anymore. You can live it. So while you do take on a little bit of risk starting your own business, you exchange that for this incredible amount of freedom.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't want it to sound like there's not hard work involved. There is a lot of work that you need to put into it. And it takes starting a business takes a lot of self-determination, self-discipline, a lot of ambition and grit. But if you think about it, if the economy is going south, if you're in an economic winter, or if something in the business is not working and you're not making money, you can change your business strategy. You can change your marketing. You can change your business model. You can research and learn how to fix it, and then you can go do it. You're not an employee who's subject to whatever decisions your supervisors make. It's your business. So even if you start a business, like we know people who started some travel businesses at the beginning of COVID. With COVID, there was not a lot of travel happening, but we also know people who in that same industry found ways to pivot and found other ways to educate, or other ways to offer solutions to other problems, or other ways to add value to people's lives that made it so that they could continue running their own business and they didn't have to go under, because they were the ones who were running the business, so they could make the changes as needed. The fate of your business is in your hands. I just really want to drive home that point that it's all up to you when you are your own business owner. And it's amazing and it's so much fun.
And I know probably at this point, you're thinking, okay, that's great for you, but I don't have the skills to start a business. And I want to tell you that you are dead wrong. There's a really high probability. In fact, I'm almost certain that you already have the skills you need to take control of your life and to stop waiting for the perfect moment. The moment is here. It's now. What Austin said is super true. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay. It's going to take some work. It's going to require some effort on your part, but you can absolutely do it. You can absolutely be successful. And Austin and I want to be here to help you get started. In fact, we've put together an entire 3-day live event to show you step by step how you can get started and how you can recession proof your life forever.
Yeah, we are stoked about this event, you guys. This is going to take place on January 11th, 12th, and 13th. And we're going to talk all about these ideas that we're going to expound on these ideas that we're talking about right now. We're going to talk about how to get in the right mindset to approach entrepreneurship, or at least to approach taking control of your own life and being the author of your story, of captaining your own ship. We're going to talk about how you can make money online and therefore make money anywhere in the world, which is quite a bit easier than you might think it is to get that started. And we're going to talk about how to get started traveling more. We know a lot of you guys listening have these goals for the new year to visit a new place, to travel somewhere. And so we're going to tell you how you can make that happen.
Yeah, and all this is completely free. So all you have to do is go join our Facebook group, the Profitable Nomad Couple Facebook group, and then put it in your calendar and show up and just be ready to be inspired. Show up with an open mind. Be ready to take control of your life. Be ready to build something greater than yourself and have a beautiful, thriving business and enjoy the lifestyle that you've always wanted to live.
So it's time that you guys stop buying into this idea of false job security. It's time that you stop letting fear dictate your life. It's time that you take control, that you captain your ship to wherever you want to go. So come join us for that live event. Again, that is January 11th, 12th, and 13th. We are looking forward to seeing you guys there. Thanks for listening and sticking around to the end of this episode. We really appreciate you being here.
If you're interested in starting and growing your online business so that you can live as a digital nomad, then grab our free list of online business ideas to help you get started. You'll find it in the link below.
See you next time.